Every year, millions of people around the world celebrate New Year's with fireworks, loud parties, champagne, and a sense of starting fresh. But there's a group of people who treat New Year's like any ordinary day. No countdown, no excitement, no pressure to make resolutions, just a regular day like any other. And if you're the kind of person who enjoys understanding human behavior, make sure to subscribe to Persona Flux Mind. We break down the psychology behind everyday decisions, habits, and mindsets in a way that actually makes sense. Today, we're exploring the psychology of people who feel nothing special about New Year's. Why do they act this way? What does it reveal about their personality, their emotions, and how they navigate life? Could this mindset actually be an advantage rather than a disadvantage? Stay until the end because some of these insights may surprise you, maybe even about yourself. Most people celebrate New Year's because it's expected. It's a cultural script, a tradition that tells you this day is important, you're supposed to celebrate, you're supposed to feel excited. But people who treat New Year's like a normal day often don't respond strongly to social scripts. Their behavior is guided more by internal logic than by external expectations. Psychologists call this low social conformity. These individuals don't feel pressured to participate just because everyone else is doing something. If December 31st doesn't feel meaningful to them, then it simply isn't, and that's perfectly fine. So why do some people feel emotionally neutral about New Year's? There are multiple psychological reasons, and each one reveals something about how their mind works. The first reason is emotional independence. Some people's mood isn't influenced by external events. Their emotional state isn't dictated by a countdown or fireworks. They don't rely on symbolic events to feel joy, motivation, or excitement. Their emotions are stable, self-generated, and consistent. For them, New Year's is just another day. This emotional consistency often makes them more resilient in other areas of life as well. They are less likely to be swayed by peer pressure or sudden bursts of excitement. It's a mindset rooted in internal stability rather than external stimulation. The second reason is realism. These individuals understand that life doesn't magically change at midnight. The phrase, "New Year, New Me," doesn't carry weight for them. They know that true change comes from consistent effort, not symbolic gestures. They focus on habits, routines, and long-term goals, rather than a single reset day. In fact, research shows that around 80% of New Year's resolutions fail by February, confirming their skepticism is often well-founded. They value incremental progress over grand, unsustainable gestures. The third reason is independence from social pressure. Some people simply don't care what society thinks. They don't celebrate because they feel obliged. They prefer authenticity over conformity. For them, choosing not to participate is a statement of self-awareness and freedom. It's not rebellion, it's clarity. They make decisions based on personal relevance, not on tradition or expectation.
A fourth reason has to do with past experiences. Some individuals may have had negative or stressful New Year's in the past. Perhaps the celebrations were overwhelming, emotionally heavy, or associated with disappointment. If previous experiences were unpleasant, the brain learns to detach from the event. Emotional conditioning can make this day neutral or even unwelcome. For example, someone who experienced family conflict or personal loss during the holidays may naturally avoid attaching significance to New Year's. Over time, this neutral perspective can become their default mindset. The fifth reason is introversion. Introverted people often find big celebrations draining. Crowds, loud music, and social expectations can feel overwhelming. For them, staying home quietly, reflecting, or engaging in a solitary activity is far more meaningful than attending a party or watching a live countdown. Introverts often recharge by being alone, and New Year's can be particularly exhausting for those who thrive on calm environments. This preference for solitude is not a flaw, it's a natural psychological trait. The sixth reason is a preference for routine and minimalism. Some people thrive on consistency. Holidays break the rhythm of their daily life, which can create subtle stress rather than excitement. Minimalists dislike excess, and the noise of typical New Year celebrations can feel unnecessary. For them, the best way to celebrate is no celebration at all. This preference allows them to conserve energy, maintain focus, and avoid the chaos that large social events often bring.
A seventh reason is detachment from symbolism. Some people simply don't respond to dates, numbers, or cultural markers. Birthdays, anniversaries, and milestones don't evoke strong emotions. Their thinking is logical rather than symbolic. January 1st is just a number, not a magical turning point. They find significance in their actions and choices rather than in arbitrary dates. This mindset fosters personal accountability and long-term consistency. The eighth reason is burnout and fatigue. Life can be exhausting, and if someone is emotionally or mentally drained, even significant dates may feel irrelevant. Work stress, personal challenges, or general fatigue can make New Year's just another day. This doesn't mean the person is unhappy. It means their energy is focused elsewhere. Recognizing when to conserve energy is actually a sign of self-awareness and emotional intelligence. A ninth reason is reflective mindset. Some people use New Year's not for external celebration, but for introspection. They journal, review the past year, and plan quietly for the future. Their engagement is internal rather than social. Externally, they may appear neutral, but internally they are processing, evaluating, and preparing. This quiet reflection often leads to more meaningful personal growth than superficial celebrations. Now, let's explore personality traits commonly associated with this mindset. These traits aren't weaknesses, they're often hidden strengths. First, high independence. These individuals think for themselves. They rely on their judgment rather than the crowd. They make choices based on logic and personal relevance, not on social expectations. Second, realism. They understand that life changes gradually. They know that a symbolic day cannot fix a year of habits or emotional patterns. Their approach is methodical, patient, and realistic. Third, emotional stability. They are less prone to emotional highs and lows induced by external events. They don't crash after a holiday because they never got caught up in artificial excitement. Their stability often leads to better long-term mental health. Fourth, introversion or minimalistic emotional patterns. They prefer calm, quiet, and reflective environments. Big parties and loud events are draining, not energizing. Fifth, reflective thinking. They engage in introspection, evaluating past actions and planning ahead without the noise of celebration. They understand themselves deeply and rarely rely on external validation. Interestingly, treating New Year's like any other day comes with several hidden advantages. First, less pressure. There are no unrealistic resolutions. There is no guilt from failing a symbolic goal. Their expectations are grounded and achievable. Second, consistency. Rather than relying on a single day to restart their life, they make small improvements continuously. Research shows that incremental change is far more effective than sudden resolutions. Third, emotional stability. They avoid the highs and lows of holiday excitement and disappointment. They maintain equilibrium throughout the year. Fourth, independence. They do not require traditions, external validation, or public recognition to feel satisfied. Their motivations are internal. Their self-motivation and internal drive often lead to sustained personal growth. But what about social perception? People who don't celebrate are sometimes seen as cold or antisocial. In reality, they are emotionally mature, reflective, independent, and realistic. Not celebrating does not indicate a problem, it's simply a different psychological approach.
Let's dive deeper into the cognitive benefits of treating New Year's like any ordinary day. These individuals are often better at long-term planning. Without the distraction of external hype, they allocate mental resources to meaningful activities. They develop stronger self-discipline because their actions aren't guided by momentary enthusiasm. They often demonstrate higher emotional intelligence because they understand the difference between symbolic gestures and meaningful action. Another important factor is mental resilience. People who avoid being swept up in societal expectations are less likely to feel disappointment, regret, or guilt after holidays. They maintain a balanced perspective, which protects them from unnecessary stress. This approach allows them to remain grounded regardless of external circumstances. Moreover, ignoring symbolic dates encourages self-reflection. Without relying on cultural markers, these individuals continuously evaluate their progress, set personal goals, and adjust strategies. This creates a natural feedback loop for personal growth. Essentially, their mindset fosters deliberate living and intentional decisions. Now, let's consider the potential downsides. Complete detachment can sometimes indicate emotional disengagement, cynicism, or avoidance of reflection. In rare cases, it could be linked to burnout or past trauma. But in most cases, this mindset is healthy, adaptive, and aligned with self-awareness. So what does this behavior tell us about a person? If you treat New Year's like any ordinary day, it likely means that you create meaning internally. You don't rely on arbitrary dates to motivate yourself. You don't chase excitement because society dictates it. You plan, act, and improve according to your own timeline. And that mindset can actually be an advantage in maintaining focus, stability, and emotional control. Now consider the social dynamics. Some people are naturally pressured by the collective excitement around them. They feel obligated to participate, to post on social media, to attend parties, or to make resolutions. People who treat New Year's like a normal day don't succumb to these pressures. They observe, they reflect, but they act according to their own values and priorities. This independence fosters confidence and self-trust. By understanding this mindset, we also gain insight into ourselves. Are we dependent on external markers for motivation, or can we find internal ways to guide our actions, create meaning, and maintain emotional balance? Both approaches are valid, but the reflective mindset often leads to long-term stability and personal growth. If you're someone who ignores New Year's celebrations, know that you're not unusual. You're not antisocial or apathetic. You are self-aware, grounded, and capable of creating your own sense of purpose and meaning. Your approach may even lead to greater mental clarity, more consistent habits, and stronger personal resilience. Now, I want to hear from you. Are you the type of person who celebrates New Year's with excitement and energy, or are you someone who treats it like any other day, quietly reflecting and moving forward at your own pace? Leave your answer in the comments. Your perspective may help others understand themselves better and spark meaningful conversations. If you found this breakdown interesting and want to learn more about the psychology of everyday decisions, habits, and mindsets, make sure to subscribe to Persona Flux Mind. We release deep dives into human behavior every week, helping you understand yourself and others better. Thank you for watching. Whatever New Year's means to you, may the upcoming year bring clarity, growth, and peace. And remember, true change doesn't come from a calendar. It comes from consistent effort, reflection, and self-awareness.